At the beginning of the story, we are shown a corpse lying on a pile of garbage with a crow resting on its face. Before the crow could attack its eye, the corpse suddenly sits up. It lights a cigarette with a lighter lying nearby, and as it begins to smoke, it notices that the smoke is coming out from various parts of its body instead of its nose. Frightened, it lifts its shirt to examine its body, which is completely wounded, yet it's still alive. When it tries to speak, we notice that its voice has become like that of a zombie, and its face, even it got scared looking at its own reflection in the mirror. After seeing its blue and red zombie-like face, it didn't take him long to realize that he had become a zombie, a life he didn't want to live. Therefore, he tries to end his life by jumping off a cliff, but zombies don't die so easily. Saddened, he spends several days in a cave, and one day, due to severe hunger, he faints. Upon regaining consciousness, he realizes that he has eaten a live rabbit raw, and this act fills him with self-disgust. He couldn't understand how he had become a zombie. The question bothered him a lot, and to find the answer, he needed to explore his past, a task that could only be accomplished by going back into the human world. Walking like the zombie from warm bodies, he comes out of the jungle into a town where he finds a girl's hoodie on the ground, which he now wears. Just then, the girl also arrives, searching for her lost hoodie. Seeing her, the zombie turns his face away and doesn't respond to her questions because he knows that if anyone hears his zombie-like voice, they will be scared and kill him. The girl is a crime reporter named Sonia, who tells him that if he needs the hoodie, he can keep it, but please return her mobile phone, which was in its pocket. The zombie gives her the mobile. Sonia thinks that he might be a poor boy, so she even gives him some money. The next day, he's hungry again. He tries to steal eggs from a nest on a tree by throwing stones at it, but he has become so weak that he can't even do this, and eventually he faints again. Upon regaining consciousness, he's eating another live animal, and this thing bothers him. He doesn't want to become a wild zombie. He also wants to know about his past. To learn about his past, he needs to blend in with humans, and he can only do that if he behaves like them. Currently, his voice and his body are nothing like humans. Therefore, he immerses himself in training to become human-like. He goes to an old gym in town and starts practicing walking on the treadmill. Initially, it's very difficult for him, but after a little effort, he learns to walk like a human. In the next scene, he practices speaking with a piece of wood in his mouth. Overcoming the zombie growl, he starts speaking the alphabet and now can even speak human language. With the help of a book, he learns to use chopsticks and learns dining etiquette. Finally, he starts behaving almost like a human. He manages to get clothes by stealing them from the town, and he makes a graveyard his home. One day, he sees a man murdering another man and throwing him into a ditch. The zombie goes into the ditch to check if the man is still alive or dead. Currently, the man is still alive. The man gives the zombie a slap and then dies. The zombie makes a grave for this man and checks his bag. Inside the bag, he finds a visiting card that tells him that the man was a detective named Kim. The card also has his office address written on it, where the zombie now decides to stay for a few days. Looking at the place, it seems like no one has lived here for years, but there's a lot of food in the fridge. As the zombie is very hungry, he eats it, but he's a zombie and he can't digest this human food. At night, he vomits. He realizes that he can only eat raw meat, and to buy that, he needs money. So he starts working as a pizza packer. During this time, Detective Kim's phone receives a call. He's being offered a mission to find a dog. The zombie doesn't want to get involved in such matters, but then he thinks that if he works in Detective Kim's place, he'll meet a lot of people, and this will make it easier for him to find out about his past. Making this decision, he starts preparing to go out. First, he needs to hide his zombie face. For this, he uses makeup, wears Detective Kim's clothes, and when he goes on the mission, he finds out that the owner of the dog he has to find is a little boy who's offering him only a meager amount for his work. Getting angry, the zombie scolds the child, and just then, his aunt arrives, who is none other than Sonia. Seeing her, the zombie runs away, and Sonia grabs someone's helmet and throws it at his head from a distance, knocking the poor zombie unconscious. Sonia quickly checks his heartbeat, which isn't there. This means he's dead, she thinks, and calls an ambulance. But a few minutes later, he stands up in the ambulance, scaring everyone. Terrified, Sonia takes him to the hospital, where he injures everyone and escapes. He's very hungry now. He's about to eat a man, but then he comes to his senses. Just then, he sees a dog nearby. He moves towards it to eat it, but he feels compassion for the dog too. This good zombie, what should he eat then? Hungry, he's sitting at home when he hears an announcement about free soup being offered somewhere. When he reaches there, he finds out that the free soup is over. And now if he wants soup here, he'll have to dance along with some zombie-like humans who are dancing here for the promotion of this hotel. He dances amazingly. Now it's time to get soup, but he leaves the soup and goes into the kitchen and starts eating raw meat, which makes the chef here scream. We see that Sonia and another detective friend of hers are also in this hotel, who is now coming to kill the zombie. But the poor detective gets beaten up by the zombie. The zombie looks very furious at this moment. He runs away into the jungle to escape them. Now, as his inner zombie mood subsides a little, he starts returning to his human state. He decides to go back to Detective Kim's office. On the way, he sees news of a child's death. Seeing this child, he doesn't know what comes over him. He gets so angry that he starts hitting the screen, and then controlling his anger, he comes to the office and sits there sadly. Just then, Detective Kim's landlady arrives. She has come to collect the rent. Now that the zombie is living here, he has to pay the rent, so he needs money. While he's thinking about how to earn money, he remembers that Sonia once came to his office because Sonia had injured him. Sonia didn't want Detective Kim, who is now a zombie, to file a case against her. She had brought a settlement agreement, but the zombie had torn it up. Now the zombie finds that agreement and thinks that he can now solve all his problems by demanding $100,000. When he's going to talk to Sonia, he sees that someone is kidnapping Sonia. Like a hero, this zombie comes in the way of the kidnapper's car, saves Sonia, and brings her to his office. Here he tells Sonia that she hit his head with a helmet that day, and he has a serious head injury, because of which he can't do his detective work properly now. He needs a settlement amount of $100,000. And here, Sonia makes a pitiful face and says, "Dude, I don't have any money myself. If you want, I can become your assistant and do all your work, even without any pay." Hearing all this, he tells Sonia to get up and leave before he throws her out of the house. Just then, an old client of Detective Kim arrives. She's a famous actress who wants to find her daughter through Detective Kim, who is now a zombie. She's also offering him a large sum of money for this job. Before the zombie can answer her, Sonia says, "Yes, okay, we'll do your work." Sonia now asks her some important questions, like where did you last see your daughter, what were her interests then, etc., so that they can easily find her. Since Sonia herself was a crime reporter, she had some experience in all these things. The zombie, sitting next to her, realizes that if he wants to earn money from this detective work, he'll need Sonia. So finally, he agrees to make Sonia his assistant. Sonia starts the investigation and suspects a meditation center. During the day, everything seems fine here, but at night, we see that a cult group is giving all the children in this meditation center some drugs and making them do strange things to make them a part of their cult group. To stop all this, Sonia hides in a drum and enters the center at night. And here she finds the girl they were looking for, the actress's daughter. When Sonia is rescuing this girl and taking her out of the center, she sees the cult leader, who now knows that Sonia has discovered his truth. His man is about to catch and kill Sonia when the zombie, from behind, uses cards like knives and kills him. After which, the leader himself is about to kill Sonia with a sharp stick, but just in time, the zombie comes between them, and Sonia is saved. The sharp stick pierces the zombie's stomach, but the zombie doesn't feel any pain. Angrily, he now grabs the cult leader's neck and is about to kill him. But then Sonia screams and stops him, and after a while, we see that the police have come and arrested the cult leader. Finally, Sonia and the zombie have completed their mission. To celebrate this, when Sonia comes to the zombie's house, she gets scared seeing the zombie without clothes because there are big holes in his body. How is this possible? Was the person she thought was Detective Kim actually a zombie? Thinking this, she quickly opens her laptop and starts searching about zombies. And here, Sonia's brother tells her that zombies really exist in this world. Now Sonia remembers some old memories. She understands why she didn't hear his heartbeat that day when she hit the zombie with a helmet. and how he took the cult leader's attack on himself to save Sonia and didn't even feel pain. He didn't feel pain because he was a zombie. She tells her brother this, but her brother doesn't believe it at all. Now, properly securing herself, Sonia goes to the zombie's house. Here she tells the zombie that she has done a lot of work for him, so he should give her money honestly, and she will leave. The zombie was just about to get her money when Sonia starts having severe stomach pain. She falls down right there. Sonia thought the zombie would eat her, but the zombie brought her to the hospital. When Sonia regains consciousness and finds herself alive, she understands that he is a good zombie who doesn't eat humans. She decides to help the zombie. Since Sonia needed his past, she asks him some questions like, when you first regained consciousness as a zombie, what did you have with you? The zombie gives Sonia the lighter with which he lit the cigarette in the first scene of this story. The zombie also gave her a watch. She posts pictures of all these things on social media and says that if anyone knows anything about these things, they should contact her. After which, they get a call from a man who says he knows about this lighter. He calls them to a specific place to meet, but even after a long time, he doesn't come to meet them himself. And here they meet a man. This man's name is Sean, and Sonia knows him. He was the eyewitness to the murder of the child whose murder news the zombie had seen a while ago. Before he can talk to them, he gets a call and finds out that his mother is lost somewhere, and the zombie and Sonia take up the task of finding her. They didn't have to work too hard to find this old woman. They found her in the nearby mountains. Before Sonia could rescue the woman and bring her back, a wild boar, which is quite powerful, appears in front of Sonia. It was about to attack Sonia when the zombie comes to rescue her again. The zombie has saved Sonia, but now he has to fight this wild boar. He probably didn't realize the boar's strength yet. The boar has tossed him around and injured him badly. Angrily, the zombie now, thinking something, stands on a rock and calls the boar towards him. As the boar comes towards him, the zombie moves aside, causing the boar to fall into the ditch. But of course, while falling, it grabs the zombie too. Seeing this, Sonia gets scared that the zombie might have died too, but she sees that in a few moments, the zombie is bringing the boar up with a stick. Well, now these two bring the old woman to Sean. Sean thanks them for finding his mother, and here, Sean's mom, mistaking the zombie for her son instead of Sean, hugs him and starts crying. Seeing this, the zombie feels that maybe he also has a mother who might be waiting for him like this. Sometime later, the zombie tells Sonia that he gets visions of the dead girl, where she also has a doll in her hand. Sonia thinks there might be a link between the zombie and that little girl, but the zombie says that he sees a doll with the girl in his vision. The whole case of that girl's murder was covered by Sonia and her detective friend, but they didn't find any doll in that case. To be sure, the zombie sends Sonia a picture in which the dead girl has the same doll that used to appear in the zombie's vision. After saying this, when he goes to his office as Detective Kim, he sees that everything is scattered there, but none of his things are missing. Even the money hasn't been stolen. Only a lighter is missing, the same lighter whose picture they had posted on social media and shown to the man named Sean. He understands that Sean must have come here, and from this, he also guesses that maybe Sean knows something about his past. He goes and asks him about his past, and Sean tells him here that you killed that little girl. Hearing this, he is very shaken. He thinks that maybe he became a zombie because of the crime of killing that child. After knowing all this, he doesn't want to live. He takes a drill machine and is about to kill himself by attacking his head, but the drill machine doesn't work due to a malfunction, and instead he falls down due to an electric shock. After which, he decides to leave the city. On the other hand, Sonia meets the dead girl's dad, at whose house she sees the zombie standing in a picture of the girl. The child's dad reveals that the zombie was previously the bodyguard of this little girl. Finally, Sonia now knows the truth about the zombie's past. She wants to tell the zombie this as soon as possible, but when she goes to his house, she doesn't find the zombie. She goes to his office. The zombie is not there either, but there are some photos of the man named Sean lying on the table. Suspiciously, she decides to go to Sean's house, and she also tells the zombie this through a message. The zombie wants to stop her from going to Sean's house, but there's no signal on his phone. And now, to save Sonia from Sean, the zombie comes towards his house. On the other hand, it is shown that Sean and his wife have held Sonia captive, where they have also told Sonia the truth that they actually killed that little girl. Sean now tells his wife to kill Sonia too and goes out of the house himself. When Sean's wife comes to kill Sonia, Sonia very cleverly unties her ropes. She fights with this girl here and escapes by spraying a spray in her eyes, where she also meets the zombie outside. Sonia hurriedly tells the zombie the whole truth that Sean and his wife are the ones who actually killed that little girl. You were actually that child's bodyguard. After Sonia escapes, Sean finds out that he is no longer safe at his house. He tries to escape from here with his wife, but just then, the police surround his house. His wife, who is still inside the house, is arrested by the police, and Sean is forced to leave his wife here and run away. But Sean is determined to take revenge for this. He messages the zombie and calls him to a deserted place and says that there is a gift for you in the car which will tell you about your past. As soon as the zombie opens the car door, the car explodes. Sean thinks he's dead, but Sean doesn't know that he's a zombie and can never die. But this whole incident has finally reminded the zombie of his past. He remembers that he was the little girl's bodyguard, and when Sean kidnapped her on Christmas Day, the zombie, who was a human at that time, went to save the girl from Sean. Sean knocked him unconscious from there at that time and brought him near a ditch and shot him in the stomach and threw him into the ditch, the bullet mark of which is still on the zombie's stomach. After remembering all this, the zombie stands up. He now comes to Sean to kill him. He's beating him up and asking him, "Tell me, why did you kill that child that day?" But Sean doesn't tell him anything and shoots him with a pistol. Sean thinks that this boy must have died this time, but this zombie stands in front of him once again. When this boy doesn't die despite being shot repeatedly, Sean decides to shoot this boy in the head this time. And if he shoots him in the head, this zombie will also die. But this time, Sean's mother comes in between, the same one who had saved this zombie. She calls the zombie by the name Min Hao, and the zombie remembers that his real name is Min Ha, whom Sean was calling his mother till now, is actually Min Ha's, i.e. the zombie's mother. Enraged by his mother's death, the zombie has now killed Sean. The next day, Min Ha's mother's funeral is shown, after which Min Ha meets Sonia and tells her that she doesn't need to come to the detective work from tomorrow because I am now leaving the city. He has left all the money he earned in the name of this detective in his office itself. He hasn't even kept the money he needs for his expenses and food. Due to excessive hunger, he has now entered his zombie mode. He was about to attack a man, but faints from hunger. He regains consciousness in his detective office. His friend has kept a lot of chicken there. He is scared that he might have killed a human in his unconscious state. And just then, Sonia comes to him and tells him that when you get hungry, you lose control. And this is your zombie nature, which you need to control. And I will help you with this. Sonia ties him to a chair with a chicken in front of him and says that you will stay tied here for 3 days and control yourself. You will not eat this chicken. Sonia is sitting outside the office, keeping an eye on him. After about 32 to 33 hours have passed, Min Hao has entered zombie mode. Sonia notices from outside that when Min Hao enters zombie mode, he becomes very powerful. He frees himself from the ropes and starts eating all the chicken like an animal. His eyes now fall on Sonia. He moves towards Sonia to eat her, and Sonia is running away backwards. Before Min Hao can eat Sonia, Sonia finds a frying pan lying below, which she hits on his head and makes him unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, Sonia tells him that you had become very dangerous in zombie mode, and now I know the secret to controlling you. She shows him a tranquilizer gun here, after which she tells him that it will be better for you and other humans if you stay in this office itself. Thus, Min Hao decides to take on the identity of Detective Kim again and tells Sonia that it's worth thinking about who actually killed Kim that day. Sonia has already researched this. She says that Kim had no family. He went to his dad's grave that day where a man named Nap killed him, and he himself is still in jail in the case of illegally disposing of drugs on the mountain. It is shown that the man has been released from jail. He finds out that Detective Kim is still alive, but he himself had killed Detective Kim. He now asks some other detectives to keep an eye on these fake detectives, i.e. Sonia and Min Ha, who have taken Kim's place, to investigate Kim's murder case. These people come to the salon where Kim last came. Here they find out that Kim was researching a man named Dr. No, who conducts various experiments on animals inside his hospital. When these people go to the doctor's clinic, Min Hao recognizes the doctor and realizes that this is the man who killed Kim. Here, the detective who was following Min Hao and Sonia goes and tells the doctor that this man has come to your clinic. After which, the doctor challenges this detective to kidnap Min Hao. This detective works hard, sets up electric traps, sends 6 men to Min Hao's house, goes and fights him himself, but every time, the poor guy fails to catch Min Hao. So he tells Dr. No, "Here's your money. I can't do your work, brother." Here he tells the doctor that the man doesn't seem quite human. He even attacked me like an animal to eat me. I even ripped his heart out, and he still didn't die. The doctor was happy despite his work not being done because at least this detective brought Min Hao's DNA. And from the DNA, they find out that Min Hao is a zombie, after which the doctor himself goes to Min Hao's office wearing a mask. He drops a chemical there, making Min Hao unconscious, and takes him to his lab. He starts some experiments by drawing blood from his veins. Min Hao asks him why he does such dangerous experiments, to which the doctor replies that I love my wife very much, but then she died. But I couldn't live without her. So, after doing many experiments, I made a medicine that brought her back to life, but not as a normal human, but as a zombie. I then started experimenting again so that I could turn my wife back from a zombie into a human, and Detective Kim found out about my experiments. Detective Kim also found out about the man through whom I used to dispose of these illegal medicines. Due to this compulsion, I had to kill him. The doctor didn't know that where he had disposed of his medicines, Min Hao's corpse was also there. And due to the effect of those same medicines, the dead Min Hao also came back to life as a zombie, just like Dr. No's wife. It is shown here that Sonia traces Min Hao's location and reaches Dr. No's clinic, but the clinic is locked. She notices here that if the electricity meter is running, it means someone is inside. She stealthily reaches the lab inside Dr. No's clinic, where the doctor has kept Min Hao along with his zombie wife. The 2 detectives are also here, through whom the doctor was keeping an eye on Min Hao and Sonia. Actually, they also found out about the doctor's wife becoming a zombie, so the doctor has tied them up here. Sonia first unties these 2, after which she goes to untie Min Hao's ropes, but just then, the doctor's zombie wife gets up. Before she can do anything to Sonia, Min Hao gets up again and saves Sonia. He is now trying to explain something to the doctor's wife in zombie language, but just then, the doctor arrives with a gun. He tells his wife to eat all these people, and the zombie now attacks the other detectives. Where Min Hao tries to snatch the gun from the doctor, and in all this commotion, the gun fires from Min Hao's hand. The bullet hits the doctor's zombie wife in the head too, causing her to die right there. Seeing this, the doctor once again sits sadly beside his wife, and taking advantage of the opportunity, Sonia has already called the police. The police arrest the doctor from here, and finally, they think that they have solved Detective Kim's murder case. But now these people don't know about the big trouble that's coming. The police car in which Dr. No was traveling has met with an accident. Dr. No has taken the zombie medicine he himself created, because of which he has come back to life as a zombie after dying. As soon as they find out about this, these people set a trap to catch Dr. No. They steal his dead wife from the morgue, but Dr. No is much smarter than they think. Instead of going after his wife, he comes straight to Min Hao's house, where he doesn't attack Min Hao, but kidnaps Sonia. Before he can take Sonia away from here, a detective friend of Sonia arrives and points a gun at him. But Dr. No is not scared at all because he knows that he is a zombie now and won't die from these small bullets. Dr. No now tricks Sonia's friend and takes the gun from his hand. Before he can shoot Sonia or anyone else, Sonia throws the gun from Dr. No's hand, which Min Hao has caught on the other side. Min Hao could have killed Dr. No by shooting him in the head, but Dr. No knew that Min Hao is kind-hearted and won't do that, and his thinking is absolutely correct here. It is shown that behind him, the same 2 detectives who were helping him come here with masks. Everyone puts on the masks, and these people make Dr. No smell the same chemical he created, which can make zombies unconscious. Dr. No faints, after which all 4 of them take off their masks. One boy wants to check Dr. No to see if he has actually fainted or is just pretending, and suddenly Dr. No grabs this boy. Dr. No is about to bite this man's throat, and to save the boy, Min Hao, this time without thinking, shoots Dr. No in the head with his gun and kills him. After which, he himself is very sad because somewhere he hoped that maybe Dr. No could turn him human through his experiments. His hope is shattered. Sonia tries to encourage him, but he tells Sonia, "No, I have decided now. I will not live among humans pretending to be a human." After which, he goes far away from all of them, and Sonia continues her detective work. The scene cuts to a year later. Sonia receives an invitation to a Halloween party. Sonia is ready to go there because maybe she will find Minhao there. And exactly according to her thinking, she sees Minhao sitting in a fighting suit during the party. The two come close and start talking, and just then, they find out that someone has been murdered at this party, the case of which Minhao and Sonia now have to solve, which means these people have met once again. And with this season ends here.